I'm David Settle from Wyopreps.com. Time for our Athlete of the Weeks presented by Premier Bone and Joint Centers. We're worthy of Wyoming. One of our winners this week on the girls' side goes to Paige Shaffer, who did a fantastic job for Thunder Basin softball last week, leading the Bolts to a 5-1 record. But the one loss was kind of one of those non-conference games that sometimes teams don't put as much emphasis on. But she went 3-0 in the circle. One of those was her third shutout of the season through 17 innings. Had a 2.471 ERA, allowed just 6 runs on 19 hits, 21 strikeouts, and just 9 walks, and all 3 of her wins were cross-pod wins. Then at the plate, she hit just under 700 at 692, 9 total hits, including 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. She scored 4 times, walked once, stole a base, and ended up with just 1 strikeout. Paige Shaffer is our Athlete of the Week. Congratulations to you. I guess looking back at last week, 6 games, that's a lot in a week because of some postponements. But how do you think you played last week, Paige?
I think I did a good job personally, just kind of using my skill and my energy to the best I could, and just kind of always having the mentality for the next inning in the next game so I can make it through all of those games that we had. So I think I did pretty good last week.
Let's start in the circle. 3-0, you get your third shutout of the season. What have you been really focusing on in the circle this year?
I've been focusing on working the edges of the plate a lot. I've been sticking to movement and basically curveballs and screwballs, keeping it on the edges every game, and that's been working. So,
And then you're hitting a little bit more, it seems like, this year, even in games that you pitch. But what's your approach been at the plate this year, and especially last week when you hit close to 700?
hmm last year I had a bit of a hitting slump, so I wasn't in the lineup a whole lot. This year I'm focusing on just basically base hits, moving the runners, and it's working out pretty well for me. So that's the mentality I've been having.
What worked well at the plate for you last week to smack 3 home runs, 3 doubles, so 6 of your 9 hits are extra base hits? You got to be putting those somewhere. Obviously nobody's catching a home run, but what worked well for you? Are you just seeing pitches better this year, or what has it been with maybe that's helped your approach at the plate?
I feel like for the most of it, it's just timing for me, and I feel like I got my timing down way better this year. So that's changed a lot.
Obviously, you girls at Thunder Basin High School are having a successful season. You guys seem to kind of just reload. What is it about the program? What is it that the Coach Cox and the rest of the staff done? And maybe what is it that you girls have done to just keep playing at such a high level up there?
We're definitely really coming together as a team, making sure that everybody's included and on the same page each game. And then Doug and Ben have been doing a great job on just like pounding the fundamentals in practice and stuff like that. And it's all been coming together really well. So,
For you, has it been a little different year being maybe counted on as more of a leader?
it has been kind of different, yes, but I feel like the younger classmen pitchers are doing a great job holding their weight, and I see a lot of potential in them as well. So that helps me a lot.
Okay. Well, what do you love the most about the game of softball?
Um, the memories that you make with the girls, of course, and win or lose, the time you spend like in the dugout and on the field is it's really what you're playing for, and it's been really fun this year. So
Well, obviously it's not done. We still got a little more than a month left, but you had a fantastic week last week. And I want to say thanks for taking a few minutes. Congrats on a great week and congrats on being one of our athletes of the week.
thank you.
I'm David Sutter with Wyopreps.com as we continue talking about this week's Athletes of the Week presented by Premier Bone and Joint Centers of Wyoming. We're worthy of Wyoming. And this week's boys winner is Quincy Paris as from Midwest High School. Went 4 for 4 at the McTonko Fly High Classic in Upton last week. He won the 100 meters in 11.75 seconds. Also won the high jump, clearing 6'2". Went 20 feet and a half inch to win the long jump, and then anchored the Oilers 4x100 meter relay team that finished first at 48.65 seconds. So you add all that up, and Mr. Paris here ended up scoring 40 of his team's 46 points, or accounted for that many points last week. And Quincy, great performance by you last Friday. How do you feel you did up in Upton?
Um, I feel like I had a good day. I mean, the weather was amazing up there. It was very hot, and that's what I prefer. It's just really nice and warm. But I feel like I could have done a little better in like certain events, like high jump. I feel like I kind of underperformed there, but I still came out on top, which is always nice. But it doesn't really matter if you come out on top. It's about how you do.
I-
But
I'm
other than
cu-
that, good.
I'm curious, and sorry to interrupt you there. I'm just curious. So you mentioned it was hot, and you prefer that. Does that kind of loosen your body up a little bit
It
outdoors as a track athlete?
Yeah, it really does. For me, at least, it does. Like, I personally get like really stiff sometimes, like 50s, 60s for some reason. And then when it gets up into that 70s, 80s, I start to loosen up a lot more, and I just perform better.
You heard me say that you accounted for 40 of your team's 46 points. I know you're a fantastic all around student athlete, but when you hear that, what kind of crosses your mind?
I don't even know. It kind of shocked me. I didn't really realize I did all of that. I was just going, and I don't know. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, I know you're nitpicking a little bit, feeling like you can do better in events. Do you have an event that you prefer, a favorite over anything else?
Yeah, high jump for sure. It's one of the ones I usually do pretty good in. So 6'2" was kind of not disappointing, but I knew I could have done a lot better.
What's the key for you in high jump?
Staying consistent on my curve. I've been coming in really steep and I've been hitting it with my back a lot, so I just know I need to stay a little wider on that curve, so yeah.
What about for long jump and the 100? What are some keys for you in those events?
I think, well, for long, I really need to just stay consistent with my board because usually I'm all over the place, but I kind of got the handle of it. But the 100, I don't really know. I think I've started to like hold my stride a lot longer and kind of hold form better instead of just running all wacky like I usually do.
Now you anchor the 4x1. Obviously, you got three guys you got to depend on your teammates. I know you're close knit with those guys. What's got to be the key for you guys, especially here in the next month as you get ready for the postseason?
Um, Definitely our handoffs. It's been a big factor for us because the practice before Upton, we weren't able to even run our 4x1 because we kept dropping the baton over and over and over again. So I was really nervous at the Upton meet, but that's definitely one thing we got to get the grip on to get into that. May hopefully 47s, but yeah.
Now, obviously, you guys are kind of different because you end up competing at some different track meets. So you end up competing against a variety of different levels of competition. How do you approach a track meet to kind of focus on yourself and what you want to accomplish?
Um, I go in there, try to not really think about any competition and try to just improve myself the best. I mean, when you go to those 4A meets, that I guess I kind of like I look around to see who I'm really going up against because there's really some big competitors up there.
Mhm.
But down in these 1A, 2A meets, I try to just focus on fundamentals as best as I can to ready myself for state and regionals.
For you, I know you were terrific on the football field. You had a nice basketball season. It seems like track might be your first love, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. What do you love about track and field?
Um, it is my favorite sport, but it I love the independence.
Okay.
I really rely on myself, and if I mess up, I don't have to. I know I need to do something different. You know what I mean? I can only change and better myself in this sport. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat. Congrats on a great performance, and congratulations on being one of our athletes of the week.
Thank you for having me.